Hey guys, Mr. Jaeger here, and welcome back to our Italian front. In the last episode, we did a bunch of things. We started our war, pushing up and nabbing a number of settlements which had previously been under the control of the Taras lot. And unfortunately, despite our successes, we did unfortunately not end the war between ourselves and the Taras lot. Though we have established a pretty decent front line along the entire peninsula, so I'd say I'd say we've kind of done a pretty good job. We're standing in a fairly defensive posture. Unfortunately, the Samnites decided to try and nick one of the settlements when we were right in front of it. So obviously we had to go to war with them and basically fight them off. But for the time being, it is now winter. I have no real intention on making any kind of advancements. So we're going to settle down for a bit and just take things slow. I mainly want to see what kind of counterattacks we can expect from the Taras lot. I mean, admittedly, this sector, which despite what it looks like, is actually a lot safer. I thought that this clearing originally meant that they could somehow get across this river, but it turns out that's not the case. The only kind of crossings or entrances to our front lines that the enemy can make a push across, first of all, is being watched here, second of all is coming through here, third of all is coming through here, and then finally down to the most I say northernly tip. Technically, if we are to view this front line adequately, it would be as such. So our furthest left, here, 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 and here. But because I like seeing it in this view, we'll go for the north door. Actually, no, technically this is north, so I'll just shut up and pretend we never said anything. Anyway, so we're now in the process of re-recruiting some troops. Our dear old friends and the brave companions have lost shitloads of troops and are now basically re-recruiting. And we're just reacting, really. We're just keeping the peace. We are literally just keeping the peace. Annoyingly, Potentia is kind of awkward. I'm not entirely sure why it's not letting me upgrade or up-tier itself, but it's not letting me do that. So, yes, we're fine. But no, so far...
Between friends...
Shut up. But the thing is, Taras has yet to launch an effective counter-attack. Or counter-offensive, at this case. We have struck them quite a severe blow. We've taken one of their provincial capitals, in fact their original capital. We've taken about 2 of their provincial capitals. Oh, hello. Whereabouts? Agricultural abundance. Isn't that lovely? Especially since this is winter. That's nice. Thank you very much. Oh, my dude's there. Okay, so the Romans are at war with the Senones. The gathering place is over there. In Volsi and Inspiring Province. Yay! Ha ha! You guys. Who are you? You barbarians? No. They're just a separate tribe. You are allied with Rome, though. Good to know, good to know. How does Rome see us? Probably not very well. Ironically, just average on us. They neither like nor can... Oh, they don't like the fact that I've gone to war with the Taras lot. But, because I went to war with the Samnites, they are instantly like, you know what? Never mind. For some reason, they seem to get along with the Taras lot, which isn't entirely surprising, as they are Romans. Let's just shift positions, because I've got my new setup now. I say setup. If you haven't seen the channel update by now, I highly advise you do it. At the time of recording this episode, this is the 4th of December, so there is... this is the last episode I'll probably be recording for this for a month, so... Apologies. Well, I mean, no. I mean, as I said, if you watch the channel update, you'll see why I'm doing this. But again, we'll be coming back to it at some point. Something tells me I'll probably end up recording more episodes, and I'll just have the backlog. So, you know. Anyway, so we are one turn away from getting the Terror of the Aliots, and then I am going to go proficiency against Italians. Because the thing is, we've basically been fighting Greeks for a long time. But the moment we defeat the forces down in the Syracusian... oh, God, I can't speak. Isle of Sicily, the Syracusian forces will be Greek and annoying. And also kind of literally a pain in the ass to kill. I kind of wish I was invading from Africa. Terror of Carthage. There's no Carthage. No, legit, I kind of wish we could reverse the flow and I could push from Italy. Because then I know how... the Allies did that in World War II, and I know how to do that. Right, anyway. So, we could... I mean, I'm technically... I'm on guard duty for Potentia because her forces aren't exactly upgraded yet. They're not far off, but... Again, would like to see more.
We hunger for battle.
Spartan... what? Spartan... Right, well, in comparison to... Right, well, their melee attack is the same. The charge bonus is improved by a 10, which is pretty cool. Their melee is better in defense. Their armor is ironically worse. They have slightly less health, but they have a little bit more. It's kind of tit for tat. I mean, legit tit for tat. Well, that's another route to take. No, truth be told, I mean, these guys are Periarchai Hoplite. Oh, no, they're not. They're Spartan Hoplite. There is absolutely no ranged units at all in these guys, is there? With the exception of the Ballista. Damn, this army needs to be upgraded a bit. There's only 3, though. I mean, I could get rid of one of the... I could get rid of the Greek slingers. I never... be honest with you, I'm going to retire slingers. Slingers, to me, are kind of useless. Oh, hello. How are you doing? Right, so we'll have 2 of those. Can I have 2 more? Yay! Right, so you've now got yourself some Royal Spartan soldiers, because that's going to be good. Your mainline infantry are going to suck, but it's okay. I got 2 swordsmen. Right, you're going to be recruiting. They're going to be happy. You're going to hopefully be able to turn Sibley on, because this province is going to be a bit of a problem. But then again, Herdonia. That'll probably be my next objective. Not that I want to push up north, but I think I have to, because they're not going to sign a peace treaty. And once again, nothing really we can do. Our fleets are currently in Ella, and also... oh, wait, no, it's not in... my fleet isn't in Ella. My army is in Ella.
Hard on the oars, you men.
Oh, yeah, I can just leave it. Well, You're not really strong enough. And I don't also like those guys, because that's a very big army. Be in reinforcement range. There you go. You'll be fine. Fortify. Upkeep's going to go up, but the reinforcement and the replenishment is going to be virtually the same. So I'm going to go with that. Right, okay. You're fine. You're okay. You're okay. You're kind of built, aren't you? Again, yeah, he's got Periarchai Hoplite. Yeah, I think Archers or Peltis is probably where we're going to go for this one. And you don't really have any cavalry, do you? Tell you what. Hippias, I think, is something you probably should get as a standard form. I don't normally like cavalry, but we're going to change things up. How does missile damage get better? You're firing Pelum. Spartan swordsman. Oh, they're like average Joes. I'm just like, well, fuck it. Why not? If I can, then brilliant. I thought they were like the Spartan spearmen or the Spartan whatever, like, you know, those kind of places. Ooh, trader or public. Yeah, I'll have that. Let's make this thing better. And then what I can do is I can turn it around and be like, suck it, more food. They're like, hey, look at the new gymnasium that's now covered in goat shit. So, yeah. Oh, God. Let's just Hoplite and Toxites. No garrison. There is a garrison! Right there! Can you not see? There is a garrison. There is a garrison there. What is going on? Like, apparently there's no garrison. They're like, nope, ignore that. there's no garrison here. You can shush. Right, anyway. But yes, unfortunately for the time being, we're just going to have to haul up a bit. And wait for our turn. I want to see what the Greeks will do. Because Taras has had plenty of opportunities with their navy and with their armies to launch counterattacks. I know they got... the thing is, I kind of had counted on... Fantastic. Oh, good. I have shown class. Yes. Oh, very good thing. Alright. Oh, wait, what? A new faction. Ooh. Have I discovered said faction? No. So how do I know about it if I haven't discovered it? Why give me the message at all? It's like, look, there's a new faction in the north. And we're like, oh, whereabouts? And they're like, well, we don't know anything about this faction or exactly what they're called. Well, no, we do, but just no idea what they are. You know what? They could be flying monkeys, for all we know. And it's like, and your point now is... What is your purpose here apart to suck? Ares... That's pretty good, but I also kind of want tax. It's like, that's a very great presentation. But the problem is, you kind of need tax. Oh! Speaking of which... Oh, you're a lovely person, aren't you? Right, well, this army's back up to strength, he says. Yeah. What can I offer? Apart from a fuckload of spearmen. No. Oh, what a surprise. Max. Oh. Recreation number. Fuck you. I could do a Royal Spartans and have an escort, because I think you've actually lost a Royal Spartan unit, so we'll probably do that then. I mean, I know I said to go on the defensive, but truth be told, if they're not going to push, then we might as well push. Obviously, we're going to piss off the Romans by attacking Taras lot first. So maybe as our first act of aggression in the new year... Oh, they're raiding, though. Okay, if they're going to leave their... if they're going to leave Placentia unguarded, like, what have they got? 12 dudes. 1 Hippeus, 8 Oplite, and it looks like they've got Hippo Toxites along with 2 normal Toxites. Like, I can get siege equipment onto that, and that's them gone. Unfortunately, though, that is a completely different province. So maybe I could send a force up north, across the line, towards Hedonia. Grabbing Hedonia would probably be a bit of a mixed bag, because obviously they're likely to be attacked from multiple avenues, especially from Bavanium, but it is also quite a strong point because it is so many different routes to different locations, and then of course we can envelop this whole sector and then go nom. But again, it's kind of, again, difficult because originally we're supposed to go fucking south, but it looks like they're not going to let us do that. If the Samnites make peace with us, then I'll happily leave them alone. I don't have a quarrel with them. The only reason why I'm at war with them was because they got in my way.
One sacrifice is needed on the altar of our goodwill.
And nope.
I speak of gold, of course.
I gave you the alliance plus a fuckload of gold, and what did you do? You broke the alliance terms. So, no, Mr. Scumbag, I will not give you the satisfaction of another alliance, because you're not going to keep to said alliance, are you? Oh, a general's done nothing. Oh, shit. Well, that's not good. But hey, hey. I've got, to a degree, a counter to that, which is literally fuckloads more research. Okay, so it is officially spring. Oh, you can last on 19. Okay, you're gonna be my first man on point. You recruiting? Yeah, you are recruiting. Okay, Ella. Oh, you're one turn away.
We hunger for
Children of Teach, you'll hold position. You're not really an aggressive army anyway. Crutia is still kind of going, so I'm going to have to probably send this guy out on his lonesome. Right. Miss Scout. Oh,
On the road,
bollocks in heaven.
hunger for battle.
I seek rest.
Ready for battle.
Ah, you can cross. It just takes 2 turns. Which, truth be told, probably is viable.
Gathering supplies.
Because I could probably send Mr... No, he's watching here. He is going to be watching Accrutia. Potentia is kind of defended. I can't honestly say I'm super haps about it, but if I'm not mistaken, there's another army at the ready. Well, truth be told, what about a navy? Where is my navy? I had a navy. Where is my navy? I have 2 navies.
Your orders.
Poseidon's Chosen. You've been there for quite some time, haven't you? Right, well, Poseidon's Chosen. Guess what? Magic tour time. You're going there. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. You're going to the Eastern Front, Western Front, North, Southern Front. Fuck off. Happy birthday to you.
Ready for orders.
Oh, and you've lanked up. Yes, that's right. I said lanked up. You're a lanky man. Oh, hello. Truth be told, that is something we could do with, because every time we attack, everyone's shit. He was brave as free. Well, that doesn't give me anything. Inspire or inspire group. Inspires more province and other stuff. What else can you do? Replenishment. I think so. How old are you? 50. Not too bad. You'll last a bit longer, hopefully. You know, we can try and push into Herdonia. I think Herdonia would probably be a crippling blow for the remaining sectors, because then all that would really be left of the Tara slot would be these little peninsula down here, which probably could relieve pressure on our dear friends in the Samnite locale to perhaps launch a counterattack. Hello, Samnite veterans. There's inspired loans. Samnite veterans. You see, this is why we're researching on how to kill Italians, because we're going to have to face this someday. This will be non-stop soon. Like, I have no idea what's waiting for us on the island of Corsica, but I am not looking forward to it. Just a matter of counteracting now. Hopefully we can capture the settlement of Herdonia before autumn of this year. And then that way we can perhaps solidify our defences, hold down the region for a bit, and then maybe use it as a staging grounds to push further west. Southwest. West! How west? Oh no! Another tribe has the Cofornium. They're going to run out of names and they're going to go the fuckabouts.
At your command.
Alright.
On the move.
Skedaddle over towards this locale. So it looks like Herdonia isn't exactly in the best of... Well, never mind. They are in fact in a very good sense of shape. Right.
Swifter than Hermes.
Yeah, that's a lot of dudes. Okay, you may proceed towards your attack point. I'll have Ares Dread move up. Potentia is a city which has a garrison, which has stuff. Army, the what?
At your command.
The Gigantes. You know what? That kind of rhymes. Rhymes? That kind of sounds nice. Like, when you read it initially, it doesn't make much sense, and you're like, wait, what? And then after a while, you're like, you know what? No, this kind of works. Can we afford the food? No, I don't think we can. Buggeration.
You can call me Nyx.
Looks like the Ferente are also kind of pissed at the whole... How's our standing with those guys, by the way? They're not exactly happy with us, are they? No, they're not. It's because I was... No, they don't like me for that, but those guys are actually quite chill. It's just the Duanians. Well, we have another route towards having a secure front line, because that pass looks sexy. We'll then have only this location, and technically speaking, if we can, finger quote, grab and hold Bavanium, This would make a very nice front line. This is, I think this is going to be a thing now, isn't it? Like, I advance a little bit, and then I'm like, ooh, that might make a nice front line. And then I advance, and I go, ooh, if I have this settlement, and this settlement, and this settlement, we can make a really good front line. And then I go up to here, and I'm like, oh my god. And then eventually we're just going to go like, you see all of this northern part of the bloody Italian peninsula? This will make a really good front line. You know that bit known as the North Pole? That's a great front line. Mr. Jaeger, I think you have a problem. No, you have a problem. You don't have enough front lines. Problem is we're not going to be able to start this thing till summer. Question, how long till you can attack? Only till next turn. Okay, so it'll take him till next turn to reach and cross the river. But you know what? That actually makes more sense. Like, that actually doesn't seem too bad. I'm going to just prepare and save. So we're not doing atrociously. I think we're actually, in terms of objectives, I think we're actually making a pretty good, we're making a pretty good push of it. And our navy, which will guard Ella, which is slowly making its way across. Let's just speed that up. They're going to watch over Ella to make sure that it's safe. And then I can actually dispatch that other army to watch over the... basically kind of in between the other peninsulas until we've secured Hedonia. Once Hedonia is secured, I'll commit those forces down south to perhaps remove the last of the Taras lot, which means the only people... What the deuce? I just saw a Carthaginian flag. And it looks like the croutons are finally reacting. But for what purpose, we don't know. It looks like they're going... Right, let's just quickly... No! They did. Ooh, hello there. That's a Carthaginian army you've got there. Yes. And, of course, the Hippani have died. What a shame. Military sabotage at wow.
Ready for orders.
Hi. Bye. Right, you may commit to the siege, my dear fellow. That's a lot of that. Yeah, that's a lot.
We take this settlement.
Unanda.
Let them cower like kennelled dogs.
Who? What? There's an army in there already. I would like to know. Fuck that. There's no army in there.
Swift and silent.
How are you?
A
What?
shadow among shadows.
Nanda? Hontoni? Ah, that's a lot. Wait.
At your command.
No, this is perfect. The Ferenti are at war with with Taras, correct? Ferenti are at war with Taras. Yes. Ferenti come along and we can lay siege. They have to fight. And then it'll take me roughly, what, 2 turns? Fuck, it'll take 2 turns. Right, just don't do anything. That'll be, hopefully, enough time. So Carthage finally takes a step towards attacking. Who are they at war with? Oh, they're at war with Syracuse. But I'm impressed. I didn't think the Carthaginians would actually have the brass balls to invade. It's nice, actually, having another person on that peninsula. It means that the balance of power is not all dominating towards Syracuse. And if we can ever get fucking peace in this northern region, we can turn the tide and start focusing our attentions more on a southerly avenue. But no, having that info there, if those guys come along and say hi, that'll be fantastic. How 2 armies are in Hedonia, I don't know, but somehow we'll have to fight that off. But, oh, goddamn. Excuse me. Part of lunch. Well, not lunch, dinner. This is recorded fairly late into the evening. Right. You're about finished on recruitment, aren't you? Yes, you are. The Gigantes. Once my naval fleet arrives on scene, and didn't they say they were going to... Oh, boy. You know what? I don't mind if they go for Neapolis. I mean, Neapolis is in another province. If they go for this and this, I'm fine. Go for it. If the Samnites go for it, go for it. Please do. I really could not be fussed with going for that. It's literally the only thing I want to do right now. Oh, we're almost there on the Ella. And it looks like the faction with the 2 giant fleets is not doing so well. That is a problem. A Bit of a conundrum, one could say. Oh, look, the Senones has probably tried to take a settlement. Oh, fucking Taras. Quick, abandon our ports, which are being laid siege to. Oh, hello. This is a very interesting development. It could be that our forces are going to be facing off against Carthaginian... well, it could be that the armies of Syracuse will be having their own little conundrum with the Carthaginian lot. And if this is Carthage's breakout point, I'm very impressed. Oh, and it looks like the Volsci and the Romans are gone. Hidden agent has been exposed. That's not good. Oh, another faction's arrived, and apparently someone got wounded. Holy mother of God. That's a lot of... Question. Oh, you can't reinforce. Are you fucking serious? You're on the other side of the community. Question. Can you fight? Oh, no, you do. That's a lot of dudes. Can I be a dick? I mean, to a degree, we could launch an assault and let the fucking Ferenti dudes come along. Maybe this would be a good opportunity to see what would happen. We'll take some more. Light battering ram. This is a fucking provincial capital. I'm being reinforced by 7,000. What are you doing? Truth be told, we could actually open up a breach for those guys. Partly I want to do this because if we're the one who initiates the battle, if we're the ones who win, if they're the ones who win, we still get the settlement because we're laying the town under siege. Right? Let's try this. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to have to reload. I didn't save. Shit. If this doesn't work and they get the settlement, I'll have to reload the save. But I will not. Well, I'll know. But the thing is, if I can open up a path for the Ferenti to pour through, it won't matter a thing. I've not seen a settlement like this before. This might be a kind of a famous place then. I'm afraid, yeah. I'm afraid this part of our dear quest is... well, quest. I'm afraid my knowledge on ancient times is very poor. My main knowledge kind of stems after... I'd say it kind of gets good from, like, the 1500s, I'd say. Kind of. Like, the Sengoku Judai, I know bits about that. I get a bit better on stuff in like the English Civil War, 1640s to the 1660s, like 20 years of it virtually, multiple English Civil Wars, 1700s beginning to pick things up, and then eventually we start getting to the... Right, question, where does our allies come from? Well, we're going to go on the... I forgot... Excuse me. Oh, okay. That's a very tiny settlement. But that looks cool. Right. Where am I going? Wrong way. Right. So we're gonna set up around here. This is a really nice looking settlement, I'm not gonna lie. Right, you guys dump those bits of equipment because we don't need it. You can kind of chill. Sam Knight Scorpion. Not entirely sure how that exists in this time period, but don't care.
Ready for orders.
Switch to explosive. Despite it being raining, it does still count. Where's our deployment? Oh, can we deploy right next to the... No, of course not. Oh, no, there's the thing. Right, okay. Question. So they're gonna form up. And if I give them a place to attack, so I'm going to go around here-ish, I reckon we'll do well here. Right, we'll have all the army form up. Like my army form up. Cancel fire. And I forgot the Scorpion.
Lies before us. Glory as we go over the walls. Plunder aplenty beyond. And wine and a worn woman or two. So, are we ready?
Let's also have a look at our Spartan soldiers. Like Spartan swordsmen. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. I like a lot. Right, okay. So apparently this thing is immobile, which kind of makes sense. It's literally just a machine gun. Is it? Looks like a machine gun. GG. Right, okay. If you would be so kind as to target the tower first, knock that shit out. And you'll inevitably damage the wall, like there. But the main aim is to try and knock out the castle. Main aim is to knock out the... you're hitting the wrong part of the town. But sure. Be nice if you hit the target. Okay, you've wasted a bit too much ammo on that. Once we break in a once we take a breach through the wall, fuck it. Target those walls. You're a bit shit, you know that, right? Once the oh god, look at all those dudes. Right, this is also a good opportunity to have a look at some of the Italian equipment and weapons that we will have to face. So, their cavalry isn't too bad. They've got some skirmishers, but it looks like they only throw pilum, which is good. Do they have toxotes? No. Their infantry are kind of interesting. Like a mixture of half barbarian, half... it's like half barbarian, half like... half organized. They have Italian skirmishers, which are basically skirmishers like that. Siberian spearmen, light Italian swordsmen. So light infantry, Italian swordsmen, light. Aha. These are more hoplitaic styles. And of course they've got their Italian cavalry plus their supporting infantry battalions. They've got a lot of shit coming in. I hope I can destroy the wall in time. I had hoped we could knock the wall out. I probably shouldn't have wasted half the rounds. Oh, don't let me run out of ammo before. If you could stop hitting the fucking... like 90% of that shit is missing. Are we gonna run? We're actually gonna run out of fucking oil. Are you joking? Stop firing. I just want one. Right, please get a little closer, just so that you don't suck so much when it comes to shooting. Are they gonna try and go for the gate? They are, but they're gonna get shot to shit. I'm trying to blow a hole in the wall for you so we can actually attack. And my fucking artillery is just shit. Ah. I really wish I could replenish ammo. Actually, truth be told, I should probably have checked to see if that works. We'll do that for the next episode.
Now!
Like... just knock the wall out. I don't care if the bloody... That's it. We're not going to do it. Oh, okay, well, good news is we at least got that. Fuck. Okay. Oh, fuck a duck. This is going to be painful. I'm going to try and go for that fucking... It's raining and you... Oh, I really should have focused on knocking the wall out, not the fucking other thing. Shit. Okay, that's really disappointing because we had very little ammo. And I would have probably been able to do something about that, but instead we've got a wall that's almost destroyed. Fuck! This plan went to shit. They're going to lose all their troops and we're not going to gain anything. This is bad. They're just going to get annihilated. I mean, the only good thing that can come out of this is that... Right, fuck. We're going to have to... Yo, swordsman, go back, grab the ladders.
Our allies' general has fallen.
How? Who? He didn't. Oh, he did. You monkey. You're a monkey. They're not even hitting the wall. You know what? I can't bear it. Withdraw. I was doing this because I thought, hey, let's be cheeky monkeys, but no. I fucked up, and I went for the tower instead of the fucking... Because I fucking assumed I could. Oh. Bollocks.
Our allies' general has fallen.
Oh, not the other one. Bollocks. Okay, shit. Oh, why did you have to miss? Why are you so shit? Why didn't I just ram up to the front? You are all pants. No way can we take them out. Not like this. No, fuck it. Everyone withdraw before they commit too much reserves. Off the ladders, please. Ditch the equipment. Everyone withdraw. Just everyone withdraw. Right, you off the equipment. Make your way across. Ditch the equipment. We can get you new ones. Double time it. Come on. We're done. We're not doing anything. Nope, as in run. Ditch your equipment and run. They're gonna suicide half their army at the gates of this place because I didn't fucking destroy that fucking wall. These plebs are the reason why we're not winning today. And our allies are gonna get fucking ripped. Because I don't have any ladders, I don't have any things. Oh, God. What are you gonna do? There's 2 armies in there. I'm not gonna risk losing my allies for that. This is really all you can do for running? GG. Right, well, yeah. I mean, look, I don't want to waste these guys' time, and I don't want to waste any more lives. Because that's the thing. I really don't. Who's out here? Truth be told, whoever's out here kinda fucking deserves it. Is it the 2 plebs who couldn't hit shit for dick? Looks like you are. I have to save you, though, because you are siege equipment. As much as I don't want to save you, because you have failed us, rather badly I'll add, because most of your shots went into here, which didn't even ding them. And there's too many contacts inside the settlement. Like, if you'd blown a hole in the wall, they could have flooded through. Battle would have been fierce, and it would have been very dangerous. I told them to attack the tower because I thought they could hit it, and I thought they would kill it in like a few turns, but nope. Instead, we have the explosives, which did little to no damage, and it resulted in the failure of this fucking siege. And now they're taking their time getting to the fucking walls. We'll back off, hopefully to return. They're gonna run, aren't they? They've even opened the doors. They're saying, you know what, we feel sorry for you. Here's the doors. Come on in. Nope. Fuck that. If I can't breach the walls, then this battle is over. Oh, well, some stupid idiot decided to come out. But they're not going through the door. Ah! Will you hurry the fuck up so we can all leave at the same time? Lazy shits. We need more ammo for the munitions. We need either higher damaging ammo or higher. Yeah, we need more ammo to damage, or we need everything else. Right? Are you all equally on the front line? Right, everyone leave at the same time. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, good. Good. Okay, good. We're done. We're done. We're done? Hello? Game? Game? For real? Oh god, they're still in the game. Right. We're quitting. Hopefully we're not going to lose. Yep, that's fine. I did not lose a single soul. I did not lose out. They did. They suffered a few losses, but really we suffered attrition quite badly. We're still... It looks like... Yeah, they aren't too pleased. I mean, they outnumbered those fucks, but we didn't have the equipment nor the ability to really attack that. I was hoping for a quick victory because... Yeah. Yeah. Oh, truth be told, I fucked up. I assumed my ballista, being level 3 veterancy, could, in fact, target a giant wall and a giant tower and get more or less accurate shots on them. However, unfortunately, in this case, for some reason, they decided to go to retard school and instead fire most of their shots over the top of the target, meaning that, well, basically 90% of the shots that was flown missed. Well, no, not 90. On some occasions 90, but a higher percentage than 50. Undoubtedly like 60-70% of the shots missed, which meant that most of those explosive capacity was gone. And because I targeted the tower first, they prioritized that, and I was too late in realizing that they were not going to make the damo. If the wall had been breached, maybe the AI would have seen a function to go through that, and we could have had a nice enjoying sit watching the Italians basically beat the ever-loving Christ out of the Taraslov. But unfortunately now, we have no choice but to basically withdraw from this. And withdraw. Are you joking? I lost the ballista? Oh, fuck me.
Retreat, men! Retreat!
Well, the good news is they can't, hopefully, lay siege.
At your command.
So now you're the only one with that. Do we have any siege equipment? No. Fuck. That's really bad. And I forgot to change the fucking settlement. Well, they're in port now. Oh, boy. Okay. Okay, yeah. That was very bad. That was a very badly done siege. Oh, boy. And they've just garrisoned that settlement even more. So even if I did lay siege, we're going to be in the shit. There goes a very good opportunity because I fucked up. See, this is... Remember, kids, if you're going to have artillery, assume it's shit and put it pretty much point blank on a target. Target walls first, and then towers are a secondary. Never assume your equipment unless you have the ability to reload your shells, like I did in what? Oh, okay. But brutium. Oh, I thought it was buttium. I kind of wish I could. I kind of wish I could call it buttium. Right, question. How are you doing on culture? You don't have much culture. Your Kazantia is well defended, so we're going to have some Greek Hellenic. Actually, no, wait, no. We're going to make some industry. For once, I'm going to focus on industry development. Right. And they're all raiding now. They're like, we can't attack it, because if we did attack it, we'd be fucked. Right, so you're kind of useless. Great. And we can't really return to camp, because, of course, that would take forever. So instead, what we're going to do is we are instead going to use some mercenary Illyrian raiders to fill the gaps between... That's going to kill my economy. We're going to use the Illyrian raiders to fill the gaps. And we will starve the armies inside. Are you... What? Fucking seriously. Come on, lay siege. Okay, so they've got 2 armies still in there, that's fine. And the fuckers have nicked my... They've got their Samnite Polybus back. Well, that's just dandy. Right, we'll have yous there, and we'll have you... Yes? That's going to kill my economy. Okay, so we're going to have you guys under siege, and we're going to try and see if we can rectify the situation. Okay. You are fine. Which is great. So I need you now to move over to Potentia. Have you out of normal, and have you to normal, and now you're watching Ella, which is great. So you can now... Oh, you can upgrade, apparently. Upgrade. Ting! Nice. I like the ting. So, Potentia is now safe from attack, which is good. Acruntia is kind of safe. Okay, let's maintain the siege, and if they try anything, we can counter them. I mean, we've got our forces in close proximity to them.
How can I be of assistance?
Agent subversion, misdirection. They're raiding.
How may I
Okay, so we do have a slight intel on that, which is great. I have no problems with that. let's have a little gander at what's going on in the rest of the world.
In your service, I never tire. My skills are yours. Swift and silent as a shadow.
Okay, so they're on forced march. They also have their own Sabnite poly. Lucanian Wars. Oh, so these are the guys who have their natural native... Okay, that's fine. That's okay. They're not very strong at the moment, which is good. I don't see any problems with that. Good. They're so far so good. There is lots of good being about. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about said good. We're just going to have to pray to the Emperor that our chance for revenge is going to come swift, but I doubt it. Looks like Taras is trying to step up on the defensive in our southern regions, which is not exactly great, but oh well. And it doesn't help that my nose is being a pain in the arse, as always when I'm trying to concentrate. It says, I'm gonna fill up with crap. And you're like, I really don't appreciate that nose. And I was like, I know you don't, but I'm gonna do it while you're recording. And I'm gonna be relatively clear when, oh, hello, la 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 la. Neopolis, did you just get attacked? I don't think they won, but I think Neopolis did certainly take a hit, which is good. Means that the Taras lot may commit other forces. Yeah, so they must have taken a hit from other forces there. Oh no, they just went for my agent.
We are a mighty people, well versed in the uses of wealth and power.
You sure about that? You sure you're not just camped out on an island like Gyps? Oh. Ooh, okay. They didn't just go for my agent, did they? Okay. Increase in rank.
Ready for orders.
Oh dear. Yay. Okay. Military sabotage attempt, apparently. I saw. Where is our agent?
What do you wish of me?
Okay, for a second there I thought she died. History and Musli. Shock. Vesui has become the Etruscan League. Floria. La 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 la.
Moving unseen.
Right, so it looks like these guys aren't
I could do.
all interested in joining our confederation. Oh, she is strong.
How can I be of assistance?
And it looks like this army, despite being very, very weak, is going to try and push for Placentia. By all means, I support it. Their fleet is a little bit hit, but you never know.
For the gods!
How long do we have till surrender? I mean, this settlement could, to a degree, be we could lay siege to the settlement a little bit longer, forcing them to spend more and more time away. Right, you've just built that. Fantastic. Ooh. Money, money, money. It's so funny. Yeah, nope, 200. That's our jewelers. Kazentia will be a land of jewels and happiness and money. Lots and lots of money. It's going to kill the food industry, though, a bit. And for some reason, it won't make people happy. I don't know why. Though I would love a megapolis. The benefits are there. It's just unfortunate I can't keep said benefits. I'm not entirely sure. Taras needs to fall, but yeah, we'll have a couple more. Before I do this, let's have a quickie on our front. So let's try looking at the boot. So everything's kind of okay. Yeah, nothing really improving. I mean, I don't have the tech, obviously. Once we've done this, I promise to go over to more civilian-based technologies, because I think we've got two sectors which we're going to focus on for a while yet. I do know that there are going to be things like that, which is going to be lovely, or things like that, which is going to be even more amazing. But we are also, I'm acutely aware that there is a lot of technology here being wasted. Oh, for a second I thought that was like a toilet. I thought that was like public like proper toilets or something like that. No, but still, if I can do something that allows me to really focus and get those things sorted, then yeah, that'll be... And then we can actually begin to advance as a culture. Because so far, we've just been fighting. Which is not a bad thing. Right, you're in range of the siege, and you're not in range of the siege. But...
For death and honor!
who we got as reinforcements? Oh no, those two are in range. Well, technically, we could do the same thing again. Question, if we were to launch an assault, we would have lots, and I mean lots of death. This would have been easier had I not lost the 2 ballistas. But we can't really odds it. We'll continue the siege. We'll keep. I'd rather just have the siege go on. If they come to attack me, then sure, try it. Dare you. But right now, I just want to try and do something. Oh, okay. It looks like Carthage is kind of fucked up. And the Syracusians have kind of instantly turned the balance of power. But then, that said, if the Carthaginians can take and hold a settlement, maybe things will change. Maybe. Not saying they will, but maybe. It's the Trustican League has arrived, and they're surrounding my shit with their shit. They have a lot of they have a kind of very strong naval oh, and they've taken that sector. Nice. So pretty much they're hopscotching at the moment, but they have made they are apparently good in combat. Military sabotage attempt. Nice. Yay. And yay, Floria. Sucks at a job. Oh, hello. Right, that's the big one. Right, here we go. Here we go. I think we are ready. There's plenty of people to come. Right, we're ready to go. They're ready to go. Let's do this. And this time, let's not fuck up. We've been given another glorious opportunity to use our allies to buggery. Let's take it and not fuck up. Wherever they come from, focus on the walls. Blow the walls up. Don't care how you do it. Blow the fucking walls up. Make sure we're doing it into daytime as well. Just make sure that if we can do this, we can turn around. Yeah, we're not doing that again. No. There we go. It's dry-ish. Okay, so our reinforcements are going to come from there, but that's fine. We can take our time. The enemy are going to be coming from the other side, which makes sense. Anyway, friends. Dear friends. We're also going to keep the... we're going to keep them in the forest. I don't know why they want to do that. Right. Boom. Right. You guys are going to chill here in the forest. The rest of you just chill here. We're going to get close. And we're going to focus that fucking wall. Right, nothing important? No? Good. Right. We need to ensure that the wall gets buggered. And I'm thinking here is where we should breach. Our objective, our only objective, is to destroy that wall. And I'm going to get my fucking ballista as close as they dare to ensure that said objective gets successfully completed. Even if that means they take slight fire.
Ballista!
Nudge
Yes,
up a
come on.
little. Just a little bit more. That's all I ask. Are you all good? We'll be disbanding these mercenary Illyrian raiders as soon as we get the chance, but this is probably the largest battle to take place in our time.
Field artillery ready.
You better fucking hit. By the gods, you better fucking hit.
Take aim.
Like, I'm not talking like hit as in, oh, hit a few occasions. I'm talking not that. Right there. Well, that's it. That's 10%, so flaming rounds. Just we need to create a gap in the wall. Just a gap. All I ask. It doesn't have to be a large gap. It doesn't have to be a humongo gap. But what I want is for the gap to form so we can force our Italian allies into the gap, whereupon they can start fighting and killing as much as they can, allowing our forces to potentially take the victory fairly easily. Also, we are apparently killing people, which I was not aware of. Kind of good shit, but right now I just want this siege to work. Good shit. But I want the hit. Come on, come on, come on. Yes! We're gonna do it. Timing, by the way. Music was beautiful. Come on, don't ricochet. Hit the fucking target. Fucking beautiful. Widen that gap. The castle wall is down. Right. Let's extend that gap, shall we? Make it as easier for my allies to punch through. This is an apology. They're still going to go for the fucking front, aren't they? What? They can see the gap, right? It's great that they're doing damage, but could you please fuck over that wall? Okay, come on. One more, one more. That's all I ask. One more good barrage on target, please. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Yes! Like, fuck, yes! That's it. There's the gap. There's what you need. Please, AI, notice that gap, senpai. Right. Now we wait. Now, whilst my dudes take their time organizing, they should hopefully have noticed gap. There's a giant hole in their walls. Please notice that. If that works as AI. Like, I don't know how to ping. I kind of wish if you had an ally you could signal to them for something. There's a giant fucking hole there. Yes, their tower's there, but I don't care. What are you doing? Why are they going for the front entrance with their commanding officer? There's a giant fucking hole there. Which, truth be told, we've actually done a pretty good job. It looks like we've killed some of their spearmen as well. Yeah, we have. Their Tarantine Hoplite looks to be quite aggressively good. Right, well, whilst we're waiting on that, please tell me that you're not... Where are you moving this army? There's a giant hole there. Maybe we'll have to wait until, like, I don't know, next thing. Right, anyway, regardless, we did it. We did it aggressively. Right. So, hopefully, AI will charge through that hole. Because they should. I wish I could tell the AI to attack.
Our allies' general has fallen.
I really wish I could tell the AI what to do. Just be like, AI, go through, attack through here. And the AI would, like, react and do that. Not what's going on now, which is I've made a gap in the hole in the wall and it's all nice and open. And instead we're watching archer units, which, truth be told, I'm not exactly complaining because they're going to absorb the fire and I could just sit back and relax. But I kind of wanted to also fight and, you know, have the allies do a shitload of damage to them, not just let them have fun. Which is now not doing anything. Unless somehow they breach the door by sheer feel. Right, let's have a look at these dudes. Swift, deadly, Highlanders capable of attacks. They've got weapon damage, base morale, and everything. Are they going around the corner? Oh, they're going to go around the corner and actually go through the wall? No, they're not. Of course they won't. Of course they won't. Of course they won't. Why? Why would I assume that? This is going to take a while. I'm going to pause recording whilst they do this, and then if anything happens, I'll obviously come back into it. So I'll see you then. And we're back. And the allies finally saw a gap in the breach, which was incredible. I didn't think they'd actually noticed that. It turned out that they had to destroy the gates though first. So there is now currently a massive... Let's speed things up just so that way things happen. So the current situation is as follows. We'll call this Group 1 and Group 2. So Group 1 is basically focused on... was prioritized attacking in this area and has committed most... well, I say most. There is still a large reserve of troops still ready to go. Group 1 is attempting to break out through the center of the gate. It's mixed results. I don't think they're going to last a lot longer. Bearing in mind, these guys are Tarantine peltists and soldiers. So, obviously, they're going to take some damage whilst coming into effect there. Group 2, a bit more of a success. They committed initial spearmen and infantry towards this sector, but then they bolstered it by fuckload of cav and melee infantry. So, if they don't succeed, they're going to cut the enemy's eagerness down quite a bit. Apulian beat infantry. Overall, though, the situation is probably going to be a stalemate, leaning towards defenders' advantage. Obviously, they have the defenders. The defenders have the advantage of having the fuckload of troops inside the settlement which aren't affected. And also, the allies, unfortunately, have committed lots of troops, which are being hammered by the archers, popping shells as they go. So, again, it's going to unfortunately be a case of they're going to lose a lot of troops, but, again, not my problem. Meanwhile, our guys are having a jolly old walk, as if we go back to the normal. Our soldiers are having an absolutely wonderful day. There's one of the Spartan Herpetolii. Lovely midday's march in the winter, or no, autumn. Is it autumn? Yeah, I think it's autumn. There's a little march in the autumn period. You've got all the soldiers walking around. You can see there's like a nice little column in the background. And the leader of this troop, where is he? There he is there. Doesn't lead from the front. He's a very punctual person. He wants to see he wants to be the guy, group of people, the last man standing. Really, really nice guy. Donates to charity. Such a nice person. He actually, true fact. Where is this guy? Where is this guy? Diodos. He actually gave his money as like, you know, his money and all that jazz. He actually gave a lot of his own money to the towards like the siege equipment, and he also donated loads of money to these guys. He was a really nice guy. I sound like I'm overdoing it a bit, but no, I honestly want to say this guy's like a nice dude, because you know he has a family, has a kids. He's one of the pioneers of the sieging technology people are talking about. God, he's you know, he was the pioneer for these siege equipments there. Bit of rude cavalry. You know, really pleasant dude, really nice person. Definitely a perk. Anyway, so I think what's left of the enemies, what's left of our allies' army is, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think that's all of them, because if I remember correctly, we still had loads of other troops about. Like they had 3 or 4 armies worth. So we'll see what happens. But the enemy opposing forces are going to gain. Yeah, it looks like that battle's not going to go too well for them. I mean, they're doing a nice job for us. Again, our armies are benefiting from this completely, and have these guys chill by the vanilla. Have a little, enjoy the luxuries of a 2-story house. Not so common in these worlds. Right. Boney was an animal, aye. Down in the sky. There we go. We'll put you guys on the front. There you go. So, cavalry. So far, the defenders here have obviously done a pretty damn good job. Definitely holding their own, but obviously fighting is a little intense, but that said, looking pretty good. Oh, I've turned the music off. Oops. Hang on. There we go. So, stuff is happening. Fighting is going on. But, again, nothing of any significance. So, once again, we will cut recording until, well, until something exciting happens. And we're back for a little quick assessment before I will probably end up having to record this, because I can't unfortunately stop the battle midway through and save and go to bed, because due to the unfortunate recording circumstances it is very late at night. So what I'll probably end up doing is basically record the entire battle and make a highlight reel of how it's going to go, because it's going to be a very long fight. But basically the long and gist of it, if we go into strategic view, let's do it like actually facing the settlement where we're attacking from. Should be out of range.
Yours to command. On me.
So basically what's occurred is the Ferenti's troops have unfortunately failed at this location. So we're gonna have to use these guys to basically move up and pepper these guys with fire. This is the main breach area where there's going to be a lot of troops. These guys are floundering, so it's not going to be too much longer before they completely fail, which it looks like they are now already. So assaulting this line is not going to be easy, unfortunately. But the good news is my army is fresh, ready and willing, and hopefully we can take this town with hopefully a lower casualty rate than before. Their forces are unfortunately still kind of already sorted, and it looks like a lot of these troops are still fresh and willing and able. But again, we are hopefully, because our armies are better off against them than the Greeks are, better in combat, ergo able to do something. And all their armies have suffered some decent level of damage. If we can break through here, sorry, change the thing. If we can break through here, maybe break around here. As long as we get to the center here and capture this location, we win. It's just a matter of holding it. Or more importantly, it's a matter of stopping these dudes from having it. Which, they've got the peltists. I've got the archers. And hopefully most of these guys will have run out of ammo. Hopefully. Yes, unfortunately due to the recording constraints, I may end up having to not be able to record my voice in a main audio log and instead just do a sort of a patch thing. Do it like officially Devon does it, basically, is the way I'm going to try it. Hopefully this works.
Missile infantry at your command.
So, now we move on to the highlight reel, whereupon I'm going to try and provide as best commentary post-battle. So, I moved up my 4 archer units to try and get some fire on towards the Taras defenders still at the breach. Luckily for me, not many of the the peltists who were still on the walls were able to shoot, and it was only really the tower that was able to really provide fire onto my archers, so luckily I was able to get some decent damage onto the enemy defenders. Unfortunately for us, the Ferenti is still not really making any kind of effective breaches, but now I'm beginning to move up my infantry and swords to try and do simple wave-like missions. Like previously in previous battles where I've set up waves of infantry to try and throw as much shit at the enemy before then committing to an assault. So later on, I've moved up my native Lucanian ambushes to try and throw more fire onto the enemy before my main sword infantry dies. And at that unfortunate moment, we lost our allies' main general, which at this point pretty much guaranteed the failure of the Ferenti armies, which is not helpful, I'll be honest with you. But luckily for us, the native Lucanian ambushes began to shoot as much as they could, doing a nice level of damage to the Tarantine Hoplite, along with some of the other sword infantry, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce. But yeah, so decent levels of fire and decent levels of damage being done. So now we're going back, and perfectly timed, by the way, them shooting at the wrong targets, helpful not. Basically, my mercenaries arrived just as the Lucanian ambushes ran out of ammo, so I basically did a switcheroo, and now my mercenaries are able to do the damage, which is nice. Annoyingly, they started to shoot at the peltists who tried to jump in front of them and get off the wall, but a lot of them were popping shots towards the these guys known as the elite infantry. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that first name, but yeah, that's not exactly good. The Tarantines lasted a little bit longer than I initially thought. I thought when their general had died, their army had failed. And there's another unit of peltists who weren't shooting, they were just on the wall. And I was like really paranoid for a second that they were just going to start unleashing their fire. So I was like, right, fuck it, charge the infantry, get inside that breach. They have a nice gap between ourselves and the enemy, well, the other side of the wall, so maybe I could do some flanking attacks. But unfortunately, the moment my men crossed that wall, fucking pathfinding, I don't exactly know why this was the case, but they didn't really want to go through the wall, they wanted to go skirt around the breach. So later on, we now finally are able to start pushing into the breach with immense micromanaging on my part, like literally telling them every 5 seconds, go there, go there, go there, go there, don't you fight. Don't fight. Don't fight. Because unfortunately the peltists from the Tarantine lot were sort of scattered in and amongst our forces. And I don't know what it is about pathfinding in this particular battlefield, but the AI really didn't want to form up normally, which meant most of my guys probably got hammered really badly. No thanks to friendly fire, which at this point was kind of bad. But yeah, it was not exactly a pleasant experience. So now I move some of my Skirite swordsmen to form up the next wave after my mercenaries begin to fall apart using the same shoot the shit then charge tactic. And thanks to the pathfinding of this breach area, despite it not helping my mercenaries when it comes to charging, it is actually making the remaining soldiers of the Taras lot to be really, really, really nice targets. So at this point, the Taras are sort of surrounded, and I begin to think about maybe using one of my other raiders to try and do another flank attack. And as our swordsmen finally get into position, they start unleashing lovely levels of damage. Because I was targeting the horsemen, the way the AI works with their aiming is that the shots are actually going higher above the breach, which means more of the pilum is going to be hitting the infantry and not the breach itself. Unfortunately, though, that raider unit is about to get completely decimated, probably from friendly fire, but it's a notable sacrifice because all of their cavalry gets systematically annihilated in just a short time. Enemy peltist reinforcements are coming around the wall to try and do something about the breach, and now there's only one unit of raiders trying to hold the line. I begin to make one of my other ways to try and pull around, so maybe I could stop the enemy reinforcements, which are now starting to come through to the city, but the Taurus decided to send another Pelum unit, or Hoplite unit, to try and stop that coming through. And again, Pathfinding, not being a friend of mine, basically is trying to commit all of its troops to try and block through. And at this point, I'm just trying to see if I can get a breach around the gap, like just try and do a little nook and cranny, just get that unit to get surrounded, and unfortunately at this point they still have a fair amount of troops still there. For some reason the Taurus aren't dedicating the forces around the gate. If they did, we would probably be in way more serious trouble. But luckily for us, we're able to start finally dealing some damaging blows to the Taurus lot as their forces begin to break around the breach. Sensing a potential chance for victory, I then send my spearman units in to try and help provide security for the attacking forces. A little later, the Taurus forces are breaking down completely. Most of their spear units are withdrawing, but unfortunately for us, the Taurus are sending in more Hoplite and more infantry. What's left of my swordsman is getting annihilated. I begin to send my cavalry up to try and set up some kind of position in case a breach is able to be formed. And at this point, I'm like, I need to stop the Taurus from doing a surround, because then they'd surround us around it. It'd be a horrible surround inception. So, with what units I could spare, I just tell them, go to there, stop that Hoplite. Do not allow yourselves to be flanked, otherwise this is going to be a horrible situation, and we're pretty much going to go back to square one. Not exactly a humongously fun moment there, but still. And again, the stupid pathfinding system is just causing more and more problems, as most of my infantry is still locked in the original combat, which now is causing more of my swordsmen to take damage and get killed. Not to mention also the AI still has enemy forces on the wall, which is occasionally jumping out and in of the tower that's still kind of being occupied. And I'm just desperately trying to kill the last few Taurus defenders, so that way we can then dedicate the remaining swordsmen to try and hold the line as possible. So my spear units arrive to basically a clusterfuck as I desperately try to reinforce the situation, trying to plug up the gaps as best as I can, whilst also attempting to try and hold the flanks, so that way in case the Taurus lot decide to send attacking units from the flanks to get them in. Later on, I notice there is a gap in the enemy's line, which then allows me to try and move to do a flank maneuver, but of course the Taurus lot try and send their Hoplites to guard it, which then unfortunately at this point the enemy forces from the gate start trying to do a flank attack, whilst I try to send reinforcements to not only attack, defend that flank, but also potentially open up another flank for us to go in and attack. It's at this point I notice that there is yet another gap in this position, which then prompts me to send a unit I was originally sending to reinforce to then do yet another flank attack. By the way, I do a lot of flank attacks in this mission, so let me know how many I do and you'll get a brownie. So anyway, at this point I decide to commit my big ace card, my Spartan swords. These guys are completely new and completely untested. I begin to get my generals as well in case things start to look bad, because these are not exactly improving. My units are beginning to suffer a lot of morale penalties, and it's not exactly looking good. But at this point I was really contemplating, should I begin to withdraw? Should I hold? It's not looking good. My army is beginning to crumble. This is what I was fearing. Oh god. More enemy swordsmen and infantry begin to put pressure on my flank. And then at this point, everything begins to turn to shit. My army begins to rout. A lot of my infantry has decided to be cowards. And what the remaining infantry who are still fighting desperately are trying to basically hold a losing battle. It is not looking good at all. I had a unit that I'd forgotten to send in, luckily, if you will, who I decided to commit into the attack. But then at this point they decided that the pathfinding was going to be a problem for them, because apparently a giant hole in the wall was too scary for them, so they instead decided to take their time actually getting through the wall. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Get through the wall. Yes, through the wall. Through the wall. Like, it didn't really matter what was going on, but I'm just like, please, for the love of God, just provide support. And at this point, the remaining Skeletai swordsmen then finally broke, and just as my Spartan swordsmen are cramming their way up towards the line. So This attack is becoming more and more desperate as I tried my best to get my infantry to form up into waves. I get my my spearmen, luckily by being next to my leaders, finally grow a pair of balls and begin to go back into the fray. But again, more of my forces on the flanks are beginning to withdraw. We're still on the left flank. My armies are trying desperately to hold the line, but their morale is breaking. And at this point, the left flank breaks. Now I have to send some swordsmen in to try and fall back. It is an absolute disaster. The Greek forces are on the left flank now, are beginning to throw another flank in, and everything is beginning to fall apart. And at this point, I'm just like, well, fuck it, let's just try and get my troops to get close enough so that they can provide morale bonuses, whilst also trying to do what I can to save this battle from going to an absolute disaster. It's at this point that I move up my Spartan swordsmen, who at the time I thought had the ability to throw ammunition and the pilum in and to the battle without having to go into contact. But unfortunately, despite me sort of turning on and off the fire at will button, it seems that the infantry only seems to use these pilum as they're charging. So either that's a glitch or it's just something of how the unit's designed. Either way, it wasn't that helpful. So I instead decided to commit the first wave of Spartan soldiers to basically plug the gap and deal a blow to the remaining infantry that are now potentially going to surround my last remaining swordsmen. We go later on as I'm basically trying to charge a few more of the swordsmen who have either survived or who have tried to get around the flanks to try and envelop the enemy infantry and spearmen who have once again made a major commitment to turn into a massive blob, helping into my favour. At this point of the battle, I decided to send my most healthy units to try and move to the left flank in order to cause more surrounding issues, as well as to stop the enemy flank attack from doing any more damage to my left flank. As always with this particular battle, it's all about the flanks. So, at this point I was just constantly mousing over, clicking on the guy, just desperately telling them to get to the left side to try and alleviate some of the pressure and maybe force the enemy to withdraw. Unfortunately, though, this wasn't as successful as I originally hoped, and I ended up having to send in the native Lucanian ambushers who had reportedly been somewhat decent in combat. Now, I can happily tell you now, they are not that good in combat. Maybe as a shock infantry, where they're in combat for like 5 seconds, but after that, it's, yeah, completely useless on that point. But they did their job necessary, and we were eventually able to, through sheer luck, decide to break a few of their enemy units. And at this point, I made a mistake of utilizing my general's second wind ability, which I had previously thought was in range of all the infantry still fighting in the castle, but it turned out they actually were not in range, and it just gave the benefit to the guys who were standing out there for already a while, so, you know, whoopee. At this point, the blob finally begins to break down, and I'm now finally able to move troops into position to destroy the remaining remnants of the Tarentine defenders. With the blob mostly taken care of, I decide to move a fresh batch of new Spartan swordsmen into the city to try and begin the push towards the center cap point. And then I notice a bunch of pelters trying to make a break for the center of town. So, to avoid taking any extra casualties from being ranged upon, I decide to make a push, which they also decide to incline before changing their minds at the last second, but then it was too late at this point. And then, of course, as per usual, a Hoplite unit just has to get involved, so now they're trying to come in to outflank our flanking attack to try and make a push through. So, we've kind of basically done the same thing as before and turned another fight into another blob, but luckily for us, the blob that we have to deal with is nowhere near as dangerous. And at this point, I decide to commit the last few reserves of my main infantry and commit the Spartan spearmen. These guys aren't exactly great on the damage frontier, but they are also pretty damn good on the defense frontier. And luckily, I did that as well, because at this point, the enemy decided to do a relatively tactically sound decision and try and push me on the left flank of the breach, which means that if they could gain control of that, they could in fact outmaneuver and outflank my already dangerous flank attack from this position. Luckily for us, though, their intelligence ended at that point because they allowed my other spearman unit to go around their flanks and begin to attack it on another flank of their own. Count how many times I say flank in this one, it's hilarious. Anyway, so at this point, I then rein in what units I have left with their ammunition that will throw shit at the enemy, and finally they begin to throw stuff at the enemy, as they should do, rather than just, you know, have to only do it on the charge. I don't quite know if that's how this unit works or not, but they were able to throw some shit in the enemy, so I will happily take what I can in that respect. So at this point, the battle is beginning to shift more and more into my favor. I begin to move units into position. I finally get the opportunity to move the cavalry that I'd been keeping in reserve the entire battle up until this point, with the intention on moving 2 of the units into position to attack the enemy general if their unit is weak enough, because I noticed he wasn't the normal spearman unit. And at this point, the left flank decides to completely break on the breach. And a bit later on now, we're having the 2 cavalry units that I initially thought I would go after the artillery, but the enemy stopped firing. And at this point, I realized there's the general. He's a peltist unit. I have cavalry. These guys are designed to kick ass. Let us do it and do well. And of course, the cavalry, rather than doing what they're supposed to do, which is go round the big blob of spears, one of the units just has to find itself having an attraction to being stabbed in the face by a spearman. So 2 of my Hippotaeus are actually doing their job, with the other 2 just getting shot at and taking their time getting through. And at this point, I also decided to commit some extra infantry to potentially outflank once again the enemy flank attack. There's the remnants of the enemy Hippotae unit that tried to save the battle earlier. Luckily for us, they're not going to last too long. Same goes for their general, actually, which was quite a nice little change. So, at this point, the battle is more or less decided. The enemy, having put up a major resistance, is now finally beginning to crumble. Their general is about to die. I take off the button to hopefully ensure that the general will perish at the thought. We are, despite having the 2 Hippotaeus units, it takes the enemy's general's unit quite a long time to actually begin to rout, which is rather impressive. And at this point, I finally have my remaining cavalry into position. The left flank of the breach is about to fall, and I begin to launch a charge attack to hopefully cause a morale shock, to cause the entire enemy unit to withdraw. And at this point, the enemy general decides to croak it, resulting in the rest of the enemy units to die out. And at this point, we take an opportunity to take off the HUD and examine the amount of casualties we've taken, which, luckily for us, is a majority of the enemy and our allies. But Jesus Christ, my frames took a major hit, and I start taking various snaps of the area. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at this. I don't think I've seen as many casualty figures, well, like, it's been a while since we've had an entire section of town just covered in bodies, which is absolutely hilarious. And with me, if I'm able to take a photo of the bodies of the dead or the bodies of the battle, then you know it's been a fairly epic one. So the battle is effectively won, but there is that artillery unit that has decided to not rout. For some reason, they just didn't rout. So I thought, well, I'm not going to risk my men's lives going up to it. So, you know, we have the capture point. The tickers are picking down. So now I'm just trying to find an epic pose for some of my guys, looking at all of the dudes, being immensely proud of them. I think at this point I was sort of muttering to myself, saying, well fucking done, lads. You've done your duty and done it well. Again, taking a few shots for the Spartan Weekly magazine before letting the ticker down go to absolutely 0. So it was a costly victory, a very, very costly victory, resulting in the utter destruction of one of my allied armies and most of the Ares dread forces, all of their swords and spears gone. The brave companions having lost all of their mercenaries. Fuck! That was a lot of dead. And yeah, we've lost a couple of Spartan swordsmen along with the other things. Luckily, the brave companions and the Ares Dread should hold, but one army of allies was gone, and the other army had basically got 2 units left. So a very, very heavy amount of casualties taken there. But the good news, finger quote, in any sense, is the fact that we may have taken heavy casualties, but so has our ally, which means if they do decide to betray us, they will probably want to go to war with... Well, if they do want to go to war with us, they won't be able to take the castle anytime soon. So, at this point, I basically do a little bit of maintenance. As you may notice, my food supply is also slightly dipped a bit, but that's just because I'm spending some time editing the castle down, trying to see what we can do vis-a-vis getting rid of the high demand of food buildings as we go. Not really wanting to give up the research building, however. So that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys have appreciated this officially Devon-style narrative replay. And also, I hope you appreciate the battle. It was an absolute pain in the arse to fight, and this one was definitely more of a challenge to record, so hopefully you guys appreciate it. And I definitely see Devon in a whole new light now, because he does this week by week, and I couldn't even possibly dream of doing that. Anyway, guys, I will catch you in the next one where, luckily for you, it's more live and also my voice doesn't get croaky from over-talking. So, I will see you then. I hope you have enjoyed. This is Mr. Jaeger, signing out.